Okay, so with my previous video, providing a good source for the first and second gen Dodge Rams, I'd make a video of a good source that I found for the Ford Powerstrokes. So prior to my 17 Ford F350, I've never owned a Powerstroke. I've never owned a Ford. I've owned three GM trucks and a whole bunch of Ram Cummins diesels. My 17 Ford F350 6.7 Powerstroke was the first Ford and Powerstroke I've ever owned. Now, I am familiar with the 7.3, the 6.0, and the 6.4, and the catastrophic failures of the 6.0 and 6.4. Not to say those weren't decent engines. I mean, you can bulletproof them and they'd be fine, but that requires a lot of time, effort, and money. From the factory, the 6.0s, I had friends who owned 6.0s, and they usually pooped out. But if you kept them stock, they were okay, I guess, but they did have a lot of flaws, and we know the history has proven that. The lawsuit between Navistar and Ford and the whole how everything went down, was pretty ugly. But anyways, the 6.7 is, as we know, is a Ford built engine, and it's been a very good, reliable engine thus far. I mean, I own two of them. It's just Ford can't seem to build a good emission system and know how to build a proper or program proper regens and how to keep the truck happy. Anyways, when I bought my Ford, I didn't really know where to turn in terms of information. With the Dodge Ram and the Ram Cummins diesels, there's lots of forums out there that I'm familiar with. Turbo Diesel Register, Cummins Forum, DodgeRam.org. Gino's Garage is a great place to go to buy parts. Well, Ford doesn't have that. There are some sites out there, but nothing to the level that is available for a Dodge Ram or Ram Cummins powered vehicle. So I searched the forums. I'm a member of two Ford forums that I don't use anymore, obviously, but um, the forums are to be taken with a grain of salt because you're gonna it's all about what people think and their opinions, and some people think their opinions are facts. Without quantitative data, it's not a fact; it's just an opinion. But anyways, um, I eventually came across this site, FordDoctorsDTS.com, and this is an amazing site. It gives you a lot of information, a lot of good information. And the first place that I recommend going if you want to understand your engine is to go right here, Inside DTS. So we'll click that. You want to go to Coffee Table Books. These are publications published by the manufacturers that include service manuals, training information, sales promotions, and other various materials. Lots of good information here. If you want to know about the 7.3 before it became the 7.3 Powerstroke, it's right here. The 7.3 before it became the Powerstroke in late 94 when it became a direct injected turbo diesel engine, it was actually a 7.3 IDI. That's indirect injected engine, okay? Basically, fuel is injected into a pre-cylinder where it is partially combusted before it is injected into the main cylinder where it's fully combusted. I know, sounds weird. But a lot of diesels back then were IDIs. The GM 6.5, 6.2, the Ford 6.9, and the Ford first 7.3 were all IDI engines. The 93 version came turbocharged, though. And then in 94, the 7.3 Powerstroke was introduced, where they used direct injection that used HEUI injectors. That's hydraulic electronic unit injector. Basically uses oil pressure to pressurize the fuel in the injector. And that's how, and so basically the injector itself is like its own mini injection pump. A lift pump supplies fuel to the fuel filter, which then is pressurized in the fuel filter bowl, and then it goes to the fuel injectors where oil is used to build more pressure in the injector before it pressurizes the fuel and then it's injected. Whatever, right? I'm not an expert at that, but that's basic understanding. And you can click on these books, and these books are very, very informative. It gives you a good in-depth review of the Powerstroke diesels, from the 7.3 to the 6.0 to the 6.4, the 4.5 turbo diesel, the 6.7, the 3.2 2015, the 6.7 changes in 2015, and the 2019 3-liter baby Powerstroke. I'm sure they will have the 2020 updated 6.7 Powerstroke changes here. I'm assuming they will. I don't know, but I can only think that they will. But these coffee books are great, and when I bought my 6.7, I wanted to learn everything about the engine, so I use these books. I'll bring one of them. I've used them in my previous, um, videos in on the Ford, and so I'll bring one up here. Let me see if I can pull one up here. Coffee table books. Yeah. So let's see here. This one here. This one is the 2015 changes. So you see right here, it's this one right here. So the 2015 changes apply through 2019-ish, kind of. When you open it up, it gives you, kind of the updates from the 2011 version. See here, horsepower, torque specs, model year updates, things that they've changed in the 2015 version. Talks about the emission systems, where the EGT sensors are, and so forth. I mean, it gives you a really good, breakdown. I'm just scrolling through this stuff. You guys can download these books yourself, and you can review them yourself if you really want to know more about your engine. Now, some people don't care. Well, some people just push the key and go. Me, I want to know what's going on with my engine. I want to know how it was built. I want to know what kind of materials was used, um, and so forth. Now this book here is the original, the book for the 2011 6.7 when it first came out. Gives you all the torque specs, where everything is, kind of a layout of the engine, kind of what parts are, what these are, and so forth. I'm very quickly scrolling through this. Again, you can download these books yourself, and you can go through it yourself. It talks about the manifold, the rocker arms. I mean, everything that you want to know about the 6.7 Powerstroke is here. And this is the 2011 book. The book I showed you before was the 15 updates. So this book here, the one I'm going through right now, it's much more in depth. It's a bigger book as well, because it's the introduction of the 6.7 Powerstroke. This is where I did those videos about all the emissions. I got it straight from here, how the EGR works, how the DPF works, and regeneration and all that stuff. I got it all from here. Yeah, so we'll just kind of scroll through this. I know, I'm going through this quick. But again, you guys can download this stuff yourself. I mean, if I sat here, went through each page, I mean, we'd be here forever. I mean, I could, but we'd be here forever. So anyways, so that's kind of where this is where I went to find more information about the 6.7 Powerstroke. Now, unlike the other Dodge site that I showed you, trying to find part numbers and everything I need is difficult. There are other sites. I think there's like the Diesel Resource or Diesel Hub, something. I don't know. There are sites now that you can find all this information for. But this site, if you want to know more about your 6.7 Powerstroke, this is a good site to go to.